Welcome. Today, we're digging into a question that's, well, pretty puzzling. Why do so many schools, even the really good ones, seem to fail at their most fundamental job? Let's start with a paradox that I'm willing to bet many of you have experienced. School is supposed to be all about learning, right? But so often, the real skill we end up mastering is just how to game the system, how to get the best possible grade with the least amount of actual learning. So how on earth did we get here? Okay, so to really unpack this, we got to start with the basics. We have to look at the official story. What is school actually supposed to be doing in the first place? I mean, you look at this on paper and it's fantastic. These are noble goals. They're all about creating thoughtful, capable people who enjoy learning. This is the ideal that we all kind of buy into. It's the dream, right? But the reality? It can be the complete opposite. Instead of creating a love of learning, the system can feel so oppressive that the only thing students want is to escape it. This quote just captures that feeling perfectly, this idea of being liberated from learning, not through it.
All right, to make this all real, let's become detectives for a minute. We're going to dive into a fascinating true story from a top high school in Shenzhen, China, way back in 2008. And this is where our mystery really kicks off.
So you've got this classic setup, right? You have a clear problem. Students are just memorizing things. A hero comes in with a bold, innovative solution, and wow, it works! By every official measure you can think of, it was a spectacular success. And we're not talking about small tweaks here. This guy didn't just repaint the walls. He completely ripped up the old playbook. Instead of just sitting and listening, students were debating literature, running an actual business, and putting out a daily newspaper. They were learning by doing. And the proof? Oh, it was in the pudding. I mean, you cannot argue with these results. #1 program in the entire region, sending kids to some of the best universities on the planet. By any metric that supposedly matters, this was a massive, massive win. But this is where our story takes a very sharp left turn. This is the mystery. Despite all that incredible success, the guy behind it wasn't seen as a hero. He was seen as a villain, a dictator. So here it is. This is the central question we have to answer. If the program was working so beautifully, why did everyone, the parents who were paying, the teachers, even the students who were getting into these amazing schools, why did they all want him gone? It just doesn't add up, at least not on the surface. To crack this case, we have to stop looking at the official story. We have to look past what people say and figure out what they do. And for that, we need a special tool. One that helps us see all the hidden motivations. We need game theory. Now, don't let the name fool you. This isn't about poker or chess. Think of game theory as a kind of X-ray vision. It's a way of looking at a situation and understanding the hidden rules and incentives that are really driving people's behavior. So, in our little school drama, these are the main characters on stage. We've got the students, parents, teachers, and a few others. Each one is a player in the game, and each one has their own set of goals and a certain amount of power. And here is the absolute key to solving this whole thing. You have to understand that what people say they want and what they actually want are often two totally different things. Our job as detectives is to figure out what each player is really playing for. Okay, let's start with the parents. They'll tell you, of course I want my child to be a deep, independent thinker. But what game theory suggests is that what many really want is social status, what's called face. It's the ability to brag to their friends that their kid got into a top-tier school. It's less about education and more about winning a social competition. And what about the teachers? Look, the ideal is a passionate educator who lives and breathes this stuff. But when the system rewards just clocking in and out, teaching can become, well, just another job. The real incentive isn't to innovate and work harder, it's to do what's required with the least amount of hassle. And you know what? You can't even blame the students. They're smart. They learn the real rules of the game very quickly. And they figure out that getting the A, being popular, and keeping their parents happy is a much safer, much better survival strategy than the hard, messy, and often frustrating work of genuine learning. Now, this part is huge. In any game, you have to ask, who really holds the power? And in this particular game, it's the parents. They're the paying customers after all. And it's the teachers who control what happens day to day. The students? Ironically, they have the least amount of real power to change the system they're stuck inside. Okay, so this is it. This is the moment the case breaks wide open. The entire mystery is solved when we see where the real motivations of the most powerful players, the parents and the teachers, all intersect.
You see, what happens is that an unspoken agreement is formed. A system is created that actually works perfectly for what everyone really wants. The parents get their bragging rights, the teachers get a manageable job, the school avoids angry phone calls, and the kids get good grades without too much stress. It's a perfectly stable system. It just has almost nothing to do with genuine education.
And what does this game look like in the real world? Well, it looks like a system where grades are kind of easy to get, where cheating becomes a logical strategy, where the school's marketing is more important than its curriculum. The system is working perfectly. It's just optimized for all the wrong things. And that brings us right back to our reformer. His big mistake wasn't that his program failed. His mistake was that it succeeded at playing the wrong game. He came in and tried to force everyone to play a brand new, much more difficult game called actual learning, and nobody wanted to play. Why would they? They were all winning just fine at the old game. He thought he was there to build a better system for students to thrive. But what he was really doing was disrupting a comfortable arrangement that served everyone else's hidden interests. He wasn't a dictator. He was just an outsider who didn't understand the real rules of the game everyone else was playing. And that's really the big idea here. This isn't just a story about one school in China. This way of thinking applies everywhere, to your workplace, to our politics, maybe even our relationships. It forces us all to ask a really tough and maybe uncomfortable question. What games are we playing every single day without even knowing the real rules?